In Cuba, search and rescue teams continue their efforts to rescue several people trapped after the collapse of a residential building in the municipality of Havana. In Guatemala, ancestral authorities and community representatives continue to demand the resignation of the Attorney General while the Police Minister seeks to criminalize the protest. And in Niger, the NATO Prime Minister Ali Mohamed Lamin accused France of preparing targeted assassinations. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Ana Rosabal from the teleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. Cuban search and rescue teams continue their efforts amidst rainy weather after the collapse of a residential building in the municipality of Havana. Specialists on site have cleared the entrance to the building with a bulldozer to make access possible. Havana's first secretary of the Communist Party, Luis Antonio Torres, reported that there are 2 dead and several people trapped inside the building, including members of the fire department's search and rescue team. Furthermore, 2 injured persons were taken to Calixto Garcia Hospital, both of whom are out of danger. Alexis Acosta Silva, mayor of Havana, said that some of the affected families are staying with relatives and friends. Acosta added that 54 people left in the building.
I think that we cannot be sure how long we can be in this work. First, because all measures are being taken to ensure the work of all the search and rescue personnel and other agencies that are cooperating with us in this task. So we cannot say how long these actions could last. I repeat that all measures are being taken to avoid further damage to the personnel who are working directly in the actions of removing debris and who are looking for all the possibilities to find alive our missing colleagues.
The government of Mexico announced on Tuesday that an Australian company will make a millionaire investment in association with the state-owned oil company Pemex to produce started in 2028 crude oil and gas. Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador reported on his social networks that he held a meeting at the National Palace with executives from Woodside Energy, headed by its executive director Meg O'Neill, to discuss the partnership they will promote with Pemex. Andrés Manuel López Obrador detailed that the investment will amount to $11,679 million to produce 110,000 barrels of crude oil per day and 90 million cubic feet of gas. López Obrador stated that they are implementing an energy transition, but it will still be necessary for 2 or 3 decades to use hydrocarbons in a rational manner. In Guatemala, central authorities and community representatives continue to demand the resignation of the Attorney General and a national strike, while the Police Minister seeks to criminalize the protest.
These protesters have not received an answer to their main demand, which is the resignation of the Attorney General Consuela Porras from the Public Prosecutor's Office, while they have been on indefinite national strike for 2 days and 2 nights.
It makes me very sad and even breaks my heart to see that honestly our petitions are not being taken into account. I believe that the government is also making a mockery of all this.
Instead, they witnessed a process of personal exhibition practiced by a judge who would try to document an apparent retention of workers of the prosecutor's office against their will in the central building.
The judge is going to retire. She has already fulfilled her functions. She will consciously know what she is doing. If not, it is her problem.
Ancestral authorities and community representatives remain firm in the national strike with more than 30 blockades, including some border crossing and the Inter-American Highway.
Until we get the President of the Republic to ask the Attorney General to resign and to be ratified by the Congress. That is what we are asking for.
The protesters consider the Attorney General accused of destabilizing the general election in which Bernardo Arévalo de León was elected president to be just one of the structures harmful to democracy.
The same corrupt pact that is now in the Congress of the Republic that is discussing the law to accept transgenics. The law also to give them more time to continue plundering our territory through the oil company Perenco.
A group of inhabitants of La Escuintla blocked the entrance to the maritime customs of Puerto Quetzal since the afternoon of October 3rd, which could be extended in the next few days.
Santiago Botón, teleSUR, Ciudad de Guatemala.
On Wednesday, the president of the South American Football Confederation, Alejandro Dominguez, announced that Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay will host the opening matches of the 2030 World Cup. Dominguez explained that this 100th anniversary cup will bring together six countries from the Americas and Europe. The Commonwealth president added that there will be 3 inaugurations of the event, one in Argentina, another in Paraguay, and one in Uruguay. The 100th anniversary World Cup kicks off at the Centenary Stadium in Montevideo. In Europe, the other 3 venues will be Spain, Portugal, and Morocco, where the other matches of the World Cup, including the final, will be played.
This cup, which has been won 15 times by the teams of Argentina and Uruguay, and 9 times by Brazil, has also been won by the rest of the South American countries. This is a new addition, a new opportunity for those teams that believe in greatness and who want to make history.
On Tuesday, scientists revealed the secret of the durability of ancient Roman and Mayan buildings. In the sense that they highlighted that among the millenary construction materials there are elements such as tree bark, volcanic ash, rice, beer, among others. The study revealed that while buildings of ancient civilization have been preserved for millennia, modern concrete has a lifespan of only 50 to 100 years. Among the ingredients that were mixed into buildings constructed by Roman, Mayan, and other ancient civilizations, engineers and masons, and they are responsible for the preservation over the millennia, are elements such as tree bark, volcanic ash, rice, beer, and even urine, which may underline the ability of ancient construction to strengthen over time and heal cracks as they form. Let's take a short break, but remember you can join us on TikTok at teleSUR English, where you'll find news in different formats, new dates, and more. Our studies coming up, stay with us. Welcome back. In the United States, Hollywood actors, union protesters continue, and on Monday they resumed negotiations with the main film television studios. Actors and actresses protested in front of Walt Disney Studios in California, a day after contract negotiations resumed for the first time after 81 days of strike action. The meeting had been attended by executives from Disney, Netflix, and Warner Bros. Prior to this week, actors had been estranged from the studios on July 12th, the day their negotiations were abruptly and unsuccessfully terminated. The Actors Guild demands improvements in their pay for streaming and protection against the use of artificial intelligence, among other claims.
I'm happy that the writers have a deal because I really feel like that gives us positive momentum moving forward with the AMPTP in negotiations. There's a lot that's going to be similar. There's a lot that's different, but I feel like it puts a lot of positive energy and positive movement moving forward with the negotiations.
I think our negotiations might take a little bit longer because we're talking about AI and our likeness with the voice, body, face, all that stuff. So ours is a little more intricate when it comes to that, but I feel really good about it, actually.
On Germany's National Unity Day, demonstrators rallied in front of the NATO military base in Kalkar to protest against the supply of arms to Ukraine. Protesters rejected the country's involvement in the hostilities for the supply of military equipment, which they say was fueling tensions between Russia and Ukraine. In addition, demonstrators expressed their opposition to NATO policy of military confrontation and urged the alliance to stop getting involved in the Russian and Ukrainian conflict. They also condemned the growing militarization in Europe and NATO's eastward expansion. Russian President Vladimir Putin will participate in the summit of the leader of the Community of Independent States, which brings together 12 former Soviet republics organized in the Kyrgyz capital of Bishkek. In the framework of the summit of the leader of the Community of Independent States, President Vladimir Putin will pay a visit to Kyrgyzstan. The Russian president was invited by the Kyrgyz counterpart, Sadi Yaparov, according to Kyrgyz presidential office. He will also attend a gala ceremony to mark the 20th anniversary of the opening of a Russian military base. This will be the first trip of the Russian president after the International Criminal Court issued an arrest warrant against him in March. On Wednesday, firefighters in Australia continued their efforts to contain several fires in the southeastern region of the country. Authorities fear the situation could worsen due to weather conditions, and the latest reports indicate that in New South Wales, the country's most populous state, the fire was burning out of the control in the Bega Valley region. On Tuesday, local media reported that 3 houses had been destroyed and added that the damage stands to more than 5,200 hectares. Due to the current weather conditions, firefighters warned that there is an increased risk of falling trees that could later become active fire outbreaks, and highlighted they maintain their activities in the different areas to stop the spread of the fire and to establish containment lines.
Just at the beginning of October, and already we have a serious fire here that has had an impact, and it is an opportunity for us, myself and the Premier, ministers who are here, to just say thank you to the emergency services personnel, volunteers and full-time people who do an amazing job. This must be an incredibly traumatic experience. We're standing here, we can smell, we can see the impact that these fires are having, and that would be having a triggering response for people who went through such a traumatic time during the summer of 2019-2020.
The Indian Army said on Wednesday that 23 soldiers were missing after a powerful flash flood caused by intense rainfall tore through a remote valley in the mountainous northeast Sikkim state. A video released by an Indian Army spokesman showed a thick torrent of randy brown water sweeping down a flaky forested valley with roads washed away and power lines ripped down. Due to sudden cloudbursts over Lanak, late in North Sikkim, a flash flood occurred in the Teesta River. 23 personnel have been reported missing and some vehicles are reported submerged under the slush, the Army said in a statement. Flash floods are common during the monsoon season, which begins in June and normally ends in September. Experts say climate change is increasing their frequency and severity. In the Shandong province of Taiwan, authorities prepare for the arrival of Typhoon Koinu, the second major storm to make landfall in a month. Taiwan declared a weather alert on Tuesday as Typhoon Koinu approaches the island and is expected to make landfall on Thursday, accompanied by strong winds and downpours in southeastern parts of the territory. On Wednesday, the authorities cancelled more than 100 local and international flights, suspending ferry services and called for school closures. In the south of the island, more than 200 people were evacuated due to the fear of landslides. We have a second job break coming up, but before we invite you to visit our YouTube channel at teleSUR English. There you'll be able to rewatch our interviews, sub-stories, special broadcastings, and more. Hit the subscribe button and activate the notification bell to stay up to date on the world's more recent events. Final job break, don't go away. Welcome back. In Niger on Wednesday, designated Prime Minister Ali Mohamed Lamissane accused France of preventing targeted assassination of leaders. The official said that these attempts are part of a well-documented plan in which other countries will also be involved, aiming to carry out a destabilization plan against Niger, which he warned would include a selective assassination of political and social leaders. Lamina has to be doubly vigilant and warned that they are looking to hire headmen, recruit mercenaries to carry out selective assassination of traditional chiefs, religious leaders, representatives of civil society, and members of the government, with the support of 2 or 3 countries. Iran's military launched large-scale joint drone exercises across the country aimed at improving combat readiness of unmanned aerial vehicles in real combat scenarios. The two-day exercises involved nearly 200 locally developed drones from Iran's land and they forced the Navy and Army Air Defense Unit to assess combat readiness. During the first day of the exercises, the Army's patrol and reconnaissance drones carried out surveillance operations on nearby land, sea, and air borders. Meanwhile, Iranian military authorities released images during the exercises showing the deployment of drones to monitor U.S. warships in the northern Indian Ocean. The Supreme Leader of Iran, Ayatollah Ali Hosseini Khamenei, affirmed last Tuesday that the process of normalization in relations with Israel is like betting on a losing horse. Khamenei declared in the local media that the definite position of the Islamic Republic is that the countries that bet on normalization with the Zionist regime will lose. The statement of the Iranian Supreme Leader were made in a context in which Saudi Arabia and the Hebrew country are holding talks to establish diplomatic ties. In response to this statement, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu promised that Tehran will not derail his country's efforts to normalize relations with other Arab and Muslim nations. A curfew was declared in southeastern Nepal due to clashes between Hindus and Muslims. Clashes began in the city of Nepalgan over the weekend after a Hindu boy posted content offensive to the Muslim community on social media. A situation that prompted protesters by Muslims inside the offices of the region's main government administrator, burning tires in the streets and blocking traffic. In response, a larger Hindu demonstration was held on Tuesday and stones and bottles were thrown between followers of both religions, according to local press reports. The clashes prompted the authorities to declare a curfew and no new incident have been reported to date. On Wednesday, Thailand's Prime Minister vowed to preventive measures after the shooting at Bangkok shopping mall and left 2 people dead and raised fresh questions about the kingdom's gun control. Shoppers returned as the Siam Paragon Mall reopened less than 24 hours after the shooting, the country's third high-profile deadly gun attack in 40 years. Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin joined a man of science in the mall before offering the government's condolences to the families of the 2 female victims. Police arrested a 14-year-old suspect, a student at 4,000 at a private school. Just meters from Siam Paragon, investigators said the boy was being treated for mental illness and has now been taking his medication and reported hearing voices telling him to shoot people.
As I said, it's an unfortunate incident. The government of Thailand is very sad that it happened, but I believe that the aftermath of the incident, the management of the Siam Paragon have done the best that they can, and we hope that this will just be one of the incidents that would never happen again. The government is placed a lot of importance on this issue. Everything is of my concern, especially anything that is not pleasant happening in this country. Yes, we will make sure that this doesn't happen again.
And we have come to the end of this news brief. You can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. And join us on social media, Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For Telesur English, I'm Ana Rosabal. Thank you for watching.